9 Coronation Street spoilers next week. Buckle up, Corrie fans! Next week, the Cobbles are about to be rocked by a shocking hit and run that leaves David Platt and Daisy Midgeley fighting for their lives. But that's just the beginning, because heartbreak, betrayal, and a jaw-dropping confession are about to send shockwaves through Weatherfield. Who's behind the hit and run? Will Max's sentencing spark even more chaos? And what secret is tearing Julie apart? We've got all the explosive spoilers for 3rd to 7th March 2025. And trust me, you don't want to miss a second. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we bring you the juiciest Coronation Street updates every week. Now, let's get into it. Yes, 1. Max Turner is sentenced in exit plot. David storms into the courtroom, and you can see the weight of it all hitting him. Max, already on edge, breathes a sigh of relief when he spots his dad, maybe hoping for some last-minute support or just a familiar face in the crowd. Meanwhile, Shona and Lauren sit tensely, watching as the judge prepares to deliver the verdict. This is the moment that could change everything for Max. He messed up big time, no doubt about that. But was it all just a desperate attempt to help his family? That's the question hanging in the air as everyone waits to see if the court will show him any mercy. But let's be real, Max has already been through the ringer, and with his final scenes already filmed, it's clear his time on the Cobbles is running out. The big question is, for how long? Will the judge go easy on him? Or is he looking at serious time behind bars? One thing's for sure, this is no slap on the wrist moment. With everything that's happened, it feels like the end of an era for him. But is this really goodbye? Or could there still be a twist in store? 2. Jenny Connor makes drunken pass at Kit Green. Jenny's world is crumbling, and Daisy isn't exactly helping matters. When she hands over the legal documents, she's all business, explaining that if Jenny wants to pay off Carla, she needs to sign the pub over to Daniel. But Jenny's not daft. She sees right through it. The thought of losing the Rovers, the place she's poured her heart into, is gut-wrenching. And the idea of Daniel holding the keys, that just twists the knife even deeper. Jenny doesn't hold back, warning Daniel to keep his guard up around Daisy. She might look sweet and innocent, but Jenny knows better. Things only go from bad to worse when Jenny lets her frustration boil over, and suddenly, Daisy's the one in the firing line. She blames her for everything, the debts, the pub, even the tangled mess of lies. But Daisy isn't about to take that lying down. She fires right back, admitting that she played Daniel like a fiddle, letting him believe the baby is his just to keep them afloat. And just like that, the truth is out in the open, cutting deeper than either of them expected. But Jenny, already fueled by anger and a few too many drinks, isn't done yet. As the wine keeps flowing, so do the bad decisions. Jenny's had enough, and before she knows it, she's making a move on Kit. Whether it's desperation, loneliness, or just the chaos of the moment, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Kit is caught completely off guard. How's he supposed to handle this without making things even messier? The next morning, Jenny's nursing more than just a hangover. She's got regrets, and plenty of them. When she confesses everything to Daisy, the tension between them reaches breaking point. Meanwhile, Kit isn't keeping quiet either. He goes straight to Daniel and drops a bombshell. If he really wants to be sure about the baby, he should ask for proof. Daniel doesn't waste any time. He confronts Daisy head-on, demanding she swear on the baby's life that he's the father. But Daisy's caught in her own web of lies, and the truth is, staring her right in the face, she knows the baby isn't Daniel's. Panic sets in, and before anyone can stop her, she bolts from the pub. And just like that, 2 major storylines crash together, setting up a showdown that no one sees coming. 3. David Platt and Daisy Midgeley are mowed down in shock, hit and run. David's day takes a terrifying turn when he's confronted outside the salon by a knife-wielding Andy, delivering a chilling message straight from Harvey. The threat couldn't be clearer. David's life is in danger, and it's all about cashing in on his insurance. But instead of telling anyone, he bottles it up, carrying on like nothing's wrong. Shona picks up on his unease, promising they'll figure things out, but David's not letting her or anyone else see just how deep he's sinking. Meanwhile, Nick and Sarah are starting to notice the cracks, especially when they catch him downing vodka in the middle of the day. It's not just a bad habit, it's a cry for help. But before anyone can step in, disaster strikes. With his head spinning and his judgment clouded, David stumbles out into the street, completely unaware of the danger heading straight for him. At the same time, Daisy steps out of the Rovers, caught up in her own whirlwind of drama. In a split second, everything changes. Shona barely has time to react before a car comes hurtling towards them both. The impact is brutal. David and Daisy are thrown to the ground, and within moments, chaos erupts on the cobbles. Nick, Sarah, Daniel, Jenny and Kit all rush to the scene, the shock settling in as they take in the horrifying sight. David is in a bad way, bleeding out in the street, while Jenny and Daniel desperately try to wake Daisy, fearing the worst for both her and the baby. As paramedics race to the scene, the whole street is left reeling. Will David and Daisy survive, or has this hit and run changed their lives forever? Shona refuses to leave David's side, but it's clear his condition is critical. Meanwhile, Kit starts asking questions. Was this just a tragic accident? Or is there something more sinister at play? As the dust settles, one thing's for sure. Nothing on the cobbles will ever be the same again. 4. Kevin Webster is furious with Ronnie Bailey. Sally tells Tim she's inviting Kevin, Abby, Debbie and Ronnie over for dinner to smooth things over. But Kevin thinks Ronnie is flirting with Abby, and his mood darkens. What will Kevin do next? 5. Ken Barlow shows leniency to Cassie Plummer. Ken's got a lot on his mind when he finds out that Fizz and Tyrone have had enough and kicked Cassie out. It's a messy situation, but instead of piling on, he takes a different approach. He's always had a soft spot for giving people second chances, and despite everything, he can't bring himself to add to Cassie's troubles. So, when it comes to pressing charges for what she did to him, he decides to let it go. In his eyes, she's already lost enough. But not everyone sees it that way, especially Tracy. Tracy is absolutely fuming when she hears Ken's decision. To her, it's not about second chances. It's about justice. And as far as she's concerned, Cassie's getting away with way too much. She doesn't believe for a second that losing a roof over her head is punishment enough. And if Ken won't make Cassie pay for what she's done, then maybe Tracy will take matters into her own hands. But what exactly does she have in mind? With Tracy involved, there's no telling how far she'll go. 6. Carla Connor is spooked as Rob Donovan remains on the run. Carla's determined to throw herself back into work, trying to keep her mind off everything that's been going on. But when Betsy mentions a news report about a possible sighting of Rob in Brighton, that flicker of hope sparks. Maybe, just maybe, the police will catch up with him and she can finally stop looking over her shoulder. She knows better than to let her guard down. But for a moment, it feels like there's a chance this nightmare could be coming to an end. That hope is shattered the moment she steps through her front door. Something's off. The door's been left open, and inside it's clear someone's been there. Her stomach drops. Was it Rob? The thought alone is enough to send a shiver down her spine. If he's back, what does he want? Revenge, redemption, or something even worse? One thing's for sure. Carla's not safe, and if Rob really has returned to the cobbles, things are about to get a whole lot more dangerous. 7. Yasmeen Metcalf reveals new job as another departure looms. Alia's had enough. When she's pressured into handling a coercive control case she wants nothing to do with, she takes a stand and walks away from her job. But what should be a clean break quickly turns into another headache when she's hit with a bill for her training. It's a low blow, and with her future suddenly uncertain, she turns to Adam, hoping she can step back into her old role at the law firm. But just as she starts figuring out her next move, Yasmeen drops a bombshell that changes everything. Yasmeen's been offered a job in London, a fresh start working for a charity, and she's ready to move on. But that also means selling her share of Speed Dahl, and Alia is left wondering what that means for the family business, and for her. It's a big decision, and with Yasmeen's departure looming, it's all happening fast. Will Alia support her grand's choice, or will this create yet another divide between them? Either way, change is coming, and nothing will be quite the same again. 8. Julie Carp's tragic secret causes problems. Brian's over the moon when he finds out Julie's not going anywhere. Eileen's invited her to stay, and for him, that's the best news he's had in a while. There's something about having Julie around that just lifts his spirits, and he's convinced it's a fresh start for everyone. But Eileen, always one to cherish family time, is left feeling a bit put out when Julie keeps dodging her plans. It's not like her to keep her distance, and Eileen can't shake the feeling that something's not quite right. What she doesn't know is that Julie's hiding something huge. Behind the smiles and the excuses, she's dealing with something far heavier, a secret appointment with her palliative care nurse. She's carrying this burden alone, but how long can she keep it up? Sooner or later, Eileen's going to put the pieces together. The question is, will Julie open up before it's too late? Or will she keep pretending everything's fine to spare her sister the heartache? 9. Dylan Wilson is given some advice. Dylan's already struggling to find his place in the STC, and Brody's quick to make sure he knows the score. Cozying up to a teacher like Daniel isn't going to do him any favours, and if he wants to keep himself out of trouble, he needs to wise up fast. Brody's warning isn't just a casual bit of advice. It's a clear message that Dylan's walking a fine line, and if he doesn't start playing by the unspoken rules, he could be in for a rough time. But Brody's not just all talk. He's got a solution too. Instead of lurking in the shadows trying to stay invisible, Dylan needs to step up and start pulling his weight. A job sorting parcels might not be glamorous, but it's a way to keep busy and, more importantly, keep out of the firing line. Now, Dylan has a choice to make. Does he take Brody's advice and try to blend in, or does he risk standing out and facing whatever consequences come his way? The drama on the cobbles is heating up, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. If you love all the latest Coronation Street spoilers, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments what you think will happen next. Who's in for the biggest shock? See you in the next one.